Yeah, oh yes, please.
So just a couple of housekeeping things. We have people from many, many different dojos, East Coast, West Coast, South Coast. It's the typical Florida guys. So it's really great to train, and I think it's really important to train with people that you don't normally train with. That's one point. So, you know, you're going to have people in your dojo you train with all the time. Don't train with people in your dojo if you can help it. You might have to, but don't if you can help it. And the other thing is, I think it's really good for everybody's Aikido to try and do Aikido whichever way, whatever sensei is telling us to do it. It may not be your way, it may not be your sensei's way, but try to do it that way. Put it in your pot. If you like it, great. If you don't, doesn't matter. But it might impact you in ways you don't even know. So try to do it their way. And the last thing is the only people who are teaching are the people in Hakama. Okay, so train, listen, and everybody do the best and have fun.
So please move back, Cesar.
Sorry, let's see. Can I just do one more thing?
Go for it. I'm hungry.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Os. Yes, my name is Kevin Blok. I'm here to do a little Aikido with you. I see that we have a lot of senior ranks, higher ranked individuals who've obviously been training for some time, and a few newer people. So I'd like to do some things that start where we can focus on really simplistic or simple things, but look at some more advanced details about it that can give you an opportunity to maybe adjust your technique in some ways that might give you an advantage or an edge. So you have an uke that you can suggest for me? So I want to start with a very, very simple concept, the idea of katate mochi and Nikajo. One, wrist grasp. Second, control, pin. And I want to focus, before we go to the pin and the takedown, just to take out the control of Nikajo itself. So from a kamae position, giving backhand, uke's energy is one that's drawing you inwards, towards them. So the very first movement we want is to shorten that distance, and atemi. So that first idea is important to take away his energy. So as he's pulling, I'm moving my hand inwards to make the strike. So his pull is not so strong anymore. As I lift, this is like hiriki no yosei, to catch. So as I come back, lock, in and down. So let's look at this again, please. From katate mochi. The idea about keeping your partner's balance forwards is critical. If you are using a lot of energy, which was a big part of my early days, I like this technique a lot because I could squeeze and crush down because I was a big guy, tall, had some strength. So I met another really big, tall, or powerful person. That's so effective. And I could tell when I was doing this, one of the things that I focused the most on was that he was really close to me. And from a martial perspective, this isn't so good. Yet I noticed when my partners, when I was training in Japan, particularly with Shoda Sensei's technique, uke always went down and away, which I thought was a very important aspect. So in this idea here, what's happening is the lock of the wrist and the energy that's going through his forearm into his back is what's making him go down, not the rotation of the hand. The concept for me was like a radio, that I get the radio on station so it's tuned well. And then I can adjust the volume at any level I like. And if I do this correctly as I move in, you'll notice he always moves away. He's down and away from me. So I'm not focusing on trying to crush or squeeze at the wrist area, but instead focus on driving the forearm bones, ulna and the radius, into the humerus, which locks into the shoulder, which causes the spine to be compromised. Once the spine is compromised, their balance is compromised, so that I can contain and control them. So I want to start with this basic beginning concept. Just from atemi, hiriki no yosei concept, the elbow power to catch, lock. The feeling is powered from the forearm hand. The right hand, or the hand that's holding the back of his hand, is locking that down, and armpits in as I push and bring them down to the rear. Just this part to start. Question? Comment? Concern? Cry of anguish? Not yet. Os, thank you. Os, please with a partner. Hajime. Right into my uke. Oh, os. So a couple little details, maybe hopefully for everyone that can get them from, okay, we're in the right spot. From our very first motion, that movement in is starting to bring his armpits open. This is the weak concept that we want to create in the uke. As your arm begins to open, it becomes weaker and weaker, particularly as it starts to move away, the hand moves away from the body. If you can close your armpits off, this becomes what we call the fetal position. It's the strongest position for the human arm. We grew in our mother's wombs for 9 months like this. So this form I want for me, not for the uke. So after this motion here, when I bring up, you'll notice his arm, we're doing a single hand, but if we was two, both hands would, or both elbows would be up and elbow open or armpit open. Here, his arm very much open. Mine, closed. No space here, none. No gap in the palm. You see some people doing their ikkajo here. That means the connection energy from your hand to partner's hand is minimized because of that. That's energy that's leaking, wasted. So think little finger thumb, the most important part of the grab. 1, 2, 3, index finger, the least important, but use it too. And when you're closed from both sides, you are now truly this triangle. Sangsakyoke, triangle, roku power. Lock in, then you can see what happens. His shoulder rises. These two bones in the form are now locked to the humerus, the ulna and the radius. The humerus now driven into the shoulder. And as I begin to press, I can make pain, that's this, destruction and pain. But if I want to make balance control for this technique, the pressure is here, and you don't need much, just the slightest amount of pressure, and partner will go down. They don't have any choice because there's nowhere else to go to absorb that energy. The only mobile part of them in that time is their spine. So their spine begins to adjust. That point is called katameru. Katameru. In katameru is what I'm trying to create every time, in every technique, to create a katameru, an inability of them to resist. They cannot resist what's about to happen. And all you'll need is a very little amount of energy to do the technique. But you need to have your armpits closed, that triangle that you made in the center, and basically preclude your partner from having that capability of doing this. And as you start to put your pressure here, try to not always hold here. Try to just put a little weight, say, near the elbow joint, and you can see how easy it is to take your partner's balance. You can have your partner resist if they wish. Be strong. The problem is when they resist, it comes back like pain. It'll be okay for a second or two, and all of a sudden, oh, it'll seem very strong. When you're relaxed, it doesn't seem so strong, but you can't stand up. You'll be driven back. Aikido becomes a martial arts when the uke resists, and your technique now breaks up or tears or pulls things. So focus, please, on no gap, armpits closed, and just lightly pressing energy somewhere in the upper form near the elbow. You can see as you press in, your partner will lose balance and bobble. That's what we're trying to get, that bobble, that loss of balance. Question? Okay. Os. Os. Hachime. So a couple more small points. In the application of the technique, as I mentioned, keeping his elbow high is important. So what I want to look at is what happens when the uke is not in that position. So if we change the rules for a moment, your stay. So as he starts the technique, go ahead. As he starts the technique, all I need to do is to lower my hand. Then he's locked, can't go anywhere because I'm stepping on his foot. Got complete control. Now I don't, but I can easily reverse and change things because he's going to become vulnerable in the movements because I'm going to be in that stay-like position. The kamae idea. Or kamaes are not like this. Closed, closed. Think sword cut. We don't sword cut like this. Think axe. I'm going to cut something. Don't cut like this. Not so strong. Arms forwards. You want their power forwards. Second idea, this hand's job. We'll change that, please. This hand's job. I see a lot of people, they're high. If you look at this angle, we don't have this angle on Aikido really very much. We do sometimes. We have some ikkajos in this way and other things, but it's kind of rare. Mostly, we are this form. And that's what I want, because what I want to do is I want to push him. Can't push him very well when you're holding in this way. This is great to go down or towards me, or even flat. Great to go down. Not so good to go forwards. Not as effective. So, armpit down. Flatten your palm towards them. So when you move forward, you are pushing. And in that way, you can minimize the amount of damage or injury you're giving to the uke and get very good, very powerful off-balancing control. So again, no gaps. Make sure that the elbow is high, and you might try to reverse. When the partner goes to do it to you, one of the easiest reversals, kaishiwaza, reversal technique, just bring your arm down. You'll see now uke's arm will pop up. Just lift up, you can have nikajo or sangajo or something else, ikkajo. You can do anything from that position. So to prevent that reversal concept, you need to have uke's elbow at least the height of their wrist or higher if possible. So just a few more minutes, then we're going to change techniques. Good, okay, thank you. Now, as I mentioned before, there was the ability of the uke to reverse the roles, becoming shite by giving in. Don't resist the technique. And as your partner is beginning to apply or beginning to make their grip for the application of such a technique, for shite, bringing your armpit down brings you into a much more powerful position, allowing you to reverse the control situation. This is there in, if I may, your shite. So as he begins, in. And you can bring your body in if you wish. Ikkajo, it's right here, right there. Simple ikkajo. As he's applying, go ahead. Sankajo. And if you are, okay, good, good. Nikajo. You should be able to get all three of these quite easily. The Nikajo reversal requires a little bit of practice. But as it's coming in and I come up, catch my hand up, elbow power, hiriki. Same format, straight. And now I have the form. And I can now set that up and go. Remember to lower the hand before you try the technique directly. Don't rush to do the technique. So if I'm applying it, I don't want to be applying it up here. Relax. Find the, there it is. You can see it'll get tighter, it'll get more dense in the body, and you'll see that the head and the hips, the line of the spine change. You'll see this kind of thing happening. That's the katameru. They are unable to control their balance completely on their own now. And now I have that aspect of control. So pushing through at that point can allow the opportunity for me to take control without any discomfort if I so desire. Again, always you can be very powerful, destroy the joint if you wish by rotating the hand, but it's not necessary. So I'd like you to try being the maybe not so good uke. Step in and see what opportunities do you see, particularly for our seniors. You might see all kinds of things. You should be able to see at least 4 or 5 techniques minimum that you can easily do from this spot. And try, maybe catch, just lift underneath, and you can now instantly reverse the Nikajo into another Nikajo. Question? Let's try it. Thank you. Os. Hajime. There is a point I want to reiterate again. I noticed that a number of individuals are still moving quite a bit sideways on the concept of the kate mochi. If your partner's not giving you much energy, then that's not really a problem. But if he's doing this and he moves, okay, so for example, me, if you're holding with me and I move like this, I want to enter and his arm is locked or it's straighter. And so when I come to put your weight there, this will become much more difficult. You'll need a lot more strength to do this. We'll try from the other side. If I move to the side away, his body will lean in towards there. Coming up will be more difficult. Instead, it comes from, this is the irimi technique, ichi, irimi, entering. His energy is pulling me inwards. So I'm using that to my advantage. So he wants to push away. In fact, in doing so will help set up the next motion very much more easily. Each thing he does to correct his off balance will help me. So think about bringing your hand in towards the uke. Think about this. So think about this as I move. I used to think almost like I'm going to grab him and tickle him. That's a little bit too close, but I want to move towards him as opposed to away. Ni, different. He's pushing. Don't go in. Sideways. I want this energy. Great. And what will he want to do without thinking? His natural response will be come back to equilibrium, which is what I want for the next motion. Perfect. Thank you so much. He's helping everything I'm doing by creating one step. His response will help make the next step even more easy. I found this to be for the most senior Aikido people that they are using the energies of the uke so much to their advantage that each movement they make creates suki, gap, opportunity, because the ukes respond in a certain way. If somebody pushes you, what's your most natural response? You push back. They pull you, you step away. They grab your hand and pull, we pull to get back to equilibrium. So shite is actually creating a situation that allows the uke to help them do the technique. So please, on that very first one, it may not be your normal way, and that's fine that you may decide, I don't want this, that's fine. It's just an option for you to find that you can get a little bit more control and decrease the control they have at that very moment. As they grab and pull, you'll find in doing this, the shoulder rises, the elbow bends, the next motion is already there. I'll give you a good example. Since I have height and weight, I'm a little heavier than you. How much do you weigh? I can make two of you with me. So let's try this where I'm the shite. Sorry, okay, you are the shite. So this is, yeah. So, okay. So if you move away and I put my weight down, so go to the next motion. Can't come up, you'll need to change technique, which is fine. You can now go to knee, moving to the outside. You can step back, you can do all kinds of other things. But if you're trying to do the Nikajo, you will need to diminish that energy. The number one style anyway. Okay, so what I want to do is leave that with you because we're running out of time for me. But I want to add another technique with a little bit of ikkajo waza. So make up. Okay. So we're one, we're two. Just start. Open, pivot, kotegaeishi. And no osae, not yet. Just the kotegaeishi itself. How am I getting to that place? You kind of saw it a moment ago in your reversals. Your partner, oh, sorry, inside. Yeah, just so they can see. So here and up, I make my lock. You don't need to get your partner all the way to one knee down. Just a little bit. For example, they resist. They're fighting and you, I don't want to have to use extra energy, or my technique isn't where I want it to be, for whatever reason, or just decide I want to put them over there. So what I'm going to do is just open my hand, bring it down. Both of our fingers are now pointing downwards. Bring it back up. And I've just changed Nikajo to kotegaeishi. Pivot, throw. And no pin to start. Just that. Once you understand that concept, you can go from Nikajo to kotegaeishi, back to Nikajo to kotegaeishi, sankajo. You have all kinds of opportunities you can switch from one to another to another to another. Henkawaza, changing technique. It's a very good skill to have when you find your partner's energy or the space in the room. Now another person falls here. Oh, I can't go here. Oh, we'll change, go this way. You can contain the uke, keep the control, and put them in on the ground by throw or pin with some other technique, just smoothly flowing from one to another. Question. Try it. Os. Hajime. Let's try this again. Just the Nikajo part. This is much more simple than I think. Maybe it's new for many of you, so you don't quite see what's going on here, but it's actually very simple. Once I've taken the balance, I've made the katamero happen, and my partner is out of balance, then I'm going to let go. So I don't do it, well, he's still pretty strong in this upward position. Bring him down a little bit, then bring his fingers pointed to the ground. And I'm going to open my hand when I do that. My fingers too, point to the ground. Both our hands are now pointing in the same direction. Catch, over top. I'll actually be in the stance with this technique. And then pivot to make your throw. The throw is always done at the end of the pivot, eh? On a pivot throw for safety of uke, we don't want to be applying while we're pivoting, because uke goes in the air, gets pulled out of alignment, and then lands often very hard. So if I exaggerate, the concept is this. The idea is at the very end. So it gives uke time to allow their body to set up into the position. They may need to step or tip or whatever they're going to do to prepare themselves and get their hand back so they can either do jump break fall or turn and do a back break fall. Back break fall, ukemi is perfectly fine here. You don't need to do either one, but do something. All right? Question? Okay, so one more time. From the Nikajo, open the hand, bring his hand point to the ground, me too, to the ground. Grab over top, pivot throw. Os. Os. Hajime. Dida. So I'm down to my last couple of minutes here. I want to look at the I want to look at the idea of kotegaeishi just for a moment. I see many styles of this. I've practiced a lot with other forms of arts, jujitsu, MMA, and other things, other arts that use wrist locking techniques. And I've seen it done, for example, index finger, thumb, thumbs crossed, hand from the side. Aikikai often does a really big movement like this to make it just more a kokyunange than it is kotegaeishi. But true kotegaeishi, kote, small of the hand, gaeshi, reverse back, to come back on itself. That's what we want. Original idea being a strike or hard hit to make the hand move in towards the elbow joint to damage at the wrist joint. It's the original idea because he's probably holding something. Or maybe it's a fist. I want to make sure this isn't going to work really well in a moment. I'm going to do something that's not going to work well. Our focus isn't to damage him, but to control him. So our line of throw for number one styles is usually just outside the elbow, just past. And that'll take the rest of the body. For pivots, we actually go near past the elbow line, much further out when you pivot. His arm will be further away. Number ones, number twos. But the application should be the same. And the application is basically finger for finger directed to his hand. So if you're pressing from the side, it has some effect, but it's not so strong. If you're pressing high on his fingers, not a lot is happening. Instead, match finger for finger below the nails. Depending on hand size, I suppose, but below them. And that's all you really need to make them fall. Make a fist. The Aikido Kung Fu grip of death. So just come in and down. It's really a simple concept. It doesn't mean that's easy because it seems wrong. You're using a little bit of energy to do a lot of effort. Everyone knows the concept of shime. Shime. Like hijishime. To lock the joint. Yubi, shime, to lock, to go against the natural bend of a joint. The opposite of that is hime. Hime is the natural bend of the joint. He closes his hand. He wants a fist. Aikido is harmony. Let me help you. I'm going to give him exactly what he wants. Match him exactly, finger for finger. Do exactly what he's doing and help make his fist tighter and stronger. But make the circle small and in towards your own hara, your own center of gravity when you do this. With the other hand, it gives you a lot more control over things. So he's not using, like if that hand is coming, I can use this hand to do things. No, we don't do boxing here yet. Tomorrow. Finger for finger. This stabilizes this, so I can make this very powerful, but you don't even need that. As long as your armpit is closed and his is out, you can find you can bring pretty much any person down. So for the last couple of minutes, I want you to try that. Try your hand further away, closer, tight fist, not so strong fist, and then try changing your angle from different positions. But make sure you do at least a few times, matching exact finger for finger, and you'll see how much more efficient it can be. You use very much less energy than many of the others and still be extremely effective. Question. Okay, let's try it. Thank you, sir. Os, hajime. Where's our host? Short break? But
Yeah.
no.
So, short break, just a few minutes. There's water in the fridge. There's also a marker. So you're not finishing your bottle. Put your name on it. So it's yours. And later. Os, thank you very much, Sensei.
Os. Thank you.
Us, stop. Hey, us. Us, stop. Okay, my name is Alistair, and I know most of you here. It's nice to see some old friends. I mean, old friends. meet some new ones. So thank you very much. That was a wonderful class with Kevin. Lots of nice little insights there. We're going to continue in the theme of some basic kind of movements. I think we're all warmed up because I'm a big believer in basics, and I think all of your Aikido comes from your basics. And until you have good basics and good basic techniques, then you'll never understand where you're going with Aikido. So you really need to focus on your basics and basic techniques and try and understand, as Sensei Blok was saying, what's inside the technique? How does it work? What's going on here? Okay, so we'll start with some very basic front strike. Front strike, first control number one. It's oftentimes the first technique we learn. I got to be in this frame, Jamie. Makeup. Okay. So again, we're Shomenuchi, same basic. Mai is very important. Fingertip distance, right? No closer because then I can hit him. It's good for me. I don't like it so much. So here, so uke or shite must take a step to touch. Right? So mai, very important all the time. Nice, strong, both hands up. Strike. It's important that you're not striking with your hands. I know I said strike, but it's not here. Not my kamae. So again, your basic is your kamae, and everything is in your kamae. Everything. So as I come in to strike, he's already gone. I'm just slightly off. I move my kamae here. We're very strong. Very strong. Very strong. The side is not so much, even for a big guy like Jamie. So my job is to move my front where I'm strong, my kamae, to his side where he's weak. So I come in, I shift my head. It's my hip. It's not my arms. It's my hip. From here, just off. It's gone already. The rest of it is dessert. Right? Here, he's gone. Doesn't matter what you do. But we need to learn basic technique. So it's here, just slightly in. Again, everything's closed here. The Sensei Blok was saying, you're not like this. You're not up. Keep everything closed, everything down, it's just slightly off to the side. So to break it down to basic, come and meet one another here. You must be very strong here in your kamae. Just kamae. So no matter how strong he is, he's just pushing through your body into the floor. From here, I'm relaxed. My hip. I know it looks like my arm, but it's my hip, just turning him. Now his balance is gone completely. Okay? From here now, 1, 2, shuffle forward, down. That's it. And we'll take it to there to start. So it's 1, off to the side. In, remember, your hip. Your hip, your knee, your hip, you're taking his balance, he's gone. There. 1, 2, just your hip. It's very subtle, very subtle. Okay? I want you to break it down to 2 parts first. 1, now. Make sure it's your hip, the middle of your back, the small of your back. Here. Okay, let's try that for a few minutes, then we'll look at some inside of the technique and we'll do the rest of it. Listen, give it the partner on your own, quickly, left, right. Okay, so here's the fundamental problem that we have in Aikido. One of the fundamental problems is we want to do things. It's like, I really want to hit Jamie. It's very sad. Well, we'll have a lineup later. We'll draw lots, we'll have a lottery. It's satisfying because we were told you have to do stuff all the time. So I'm going to, because I'm a big, strong guy. Well, I'm not strong like Rob. Mustard Sensei, sorry. But, you know, big, strong guy, I'm used to doing things. You have to, the problem is that my arms and hands are weak compared to the rest of my body. If I just try and push him, be strong, Jamie, don't do anything. If I just try and push him there, if I turn my head, gone. It's gone. So you must start working on getting out of your hands. Because that what happens is you push, well, this is open up, and Blok Sensei talked about that with Nikajo. This is no good. You need to be closed. It needs to be kamai. It needs to be kamai. It needs to be centered. You need to be centered all the time. All the time. So we're going to do this a couple more minutes. Really pay attention to not moving your arm. Rob, remember this? They tied iriminage to us in Japan at one point in the police course. They tied our hands together with strings so we couldn't move them. Remember that? Police course. So we're all there. We look like a bunch of fifth graders or something. There's iriminage, there's string tied around your hand, around your back, and you were kind of, so you couldn't push your hand. It's all it is your hip. Nothing else to it. Everything's relaxed. You got to stay away from power up here. Okay. So move on a little bit from here now. Instead of bang, just very slightly one movement. Very slightly one movement. Okay. So one, and just guide him off to the side. Okay, so let's try it to that far only, just one. Get it there. You must get out of your arms and hands. Okay, let's try it again. A couple minutes. Let's. Thanks, Jenny. The other thing is, it doesn't have to be hard. It can be. You can be soft. There's nothing to it. You can be soft. He's not even trying, Rob. Not even trying. You know, you work with a guy for years and years. You try and bring him along. Nice. Good. Okay, so it's not being strong here because, again, Thomson Sensei was not a big man. Not a big man of the norm. He was a tiny guy. He was, yeah, smaller than the smallest person here, I believe. He was about the same size as Mustard Sensei. On his knees, the way he is now. I mean, yeah. So from here, try it softly. The same thing. His balance is gone. You'll see he's on his toes. His balance is gone. Everything's gone. It's the technique's over at that point in time. Right? Just get over to the side. That's all. Nothing in your hands. Nothing in your hands at all. Okay. No hands at all. Can be slow. Jackie Stewart, the famous Scottish F1 racing driver, had a saying, first you get smooth, then you get fast. So let's get smooth first. In with your hip. Take its bounce. Then down. Okay, so we're going to go to the cut down now. So from here, end of the side is off. That's it. Now from here, again, you just slight shuffle, drop your hands. That's all. It's a good form. Come on. So come on, on top, bending over, just down. This way. That's all. Then starts with your knee forward into his armpit. One more straight down. Okay, we won't bother with the pin right at the moment. Just go that far. Any questions? All good? Yes, sir.
Without either twisting it
Yeah.
or shoving it to your ear.
Yeah.
What's the best way to get that roll while remaining soft?
I found about 20 years of practice. Yeah, that was fast because, you know, I had good teachers and good senpais. The trick is what usually happens if that's happening is you're grabbing too soon. Again, you want to do something. You want to make something happen. No, as Sensei Blok was saying earlier, it'll all happen for you because Uke is going to do what Uke has to do. Right? So I come off here, cut down, and it turns over by itself. Here. Now, I am turning the elbow a little bit, but that's a detail we'll get to later. You don't have to. It'll turn up on its own. And just this way. Okay. Right. Let's try it to that point, please. Right. Let's link it. Oh, okay. Okay, so oh. Now, right. Next move. Want to have his shoulder rolled a little bit, tiny bit. because that keeps his shoulder locked. If I'm like this, he can stand up. I can't hold him down. Can't hold him down. If I've got his shoulder rolled and forward, then he can't stand up. Come on. Is that all you got? Come on. Can't stand up. It's harder. It's harder, much harder. So here, cut down, roll the shoulder a tiny bit. Now the next step, it's your whole body moving, and it's from your hips again. Your hips. Your hip will push forward, and that makes your knee come. And you forward and in the direction of his arm. Step. My hands didn't change in relation to my body at all. My hands didn't change. Here, here. On the next step, they're not going to change again. Here. Okay. One. Don't change. They're not pulling in, they're not pushing out. I'm not doing anything for my arms, it's my body, my hips. Both knees down. Okay. We don't worry about the pin. Lots of things we can do, but I don't want you to concentrate on that tonight. Just get to here, let Uke up. Thank you, James. Okay, so let's try to there. So that's essentially the whole technique without actually putting the pin on. Okay, let's try that and we'll work through that for a few minutes. Us, thank you. Us, okay. Oh, sorry, were there any questions? No? Good, keep going. Go. Gather in Jamie, please. So we have a lot of people in the dojo tonight. Safety first in the dojo. Come here, thank you. Down, good. So there's a lot of people walking around. See how Jamie's protecting his head? Because a lot of people in the dojo, I don't see Jamie. I bump into him. Well, now he doesn't have a broken nose. If he had his hand down at the side, like I know they've gone to this, and I hit him, well, now we've got blood on the mats. It's awful. So please protect yourself. Always protect your head. Especially a busy dojo like this right now. Protect your head so you don't get hurt. Okay, okay, carry on, please. Oh, it's a couple more minutes. All right, so we'll just run through this one more time as a demonstration. It's, again, a very basic technique, but there's so much in your basic techniques that will, as you grow and continue to train, you'll start to see patterns, you'll start to understand where your power comes from and how to maneuver, got new teeth, how to maneuver, manipulate uke. Okay, so one thing I want to talk about is that, so your stay, start. This kind of floppy kind of uke. So there's no energy there. It's like if he grabs me, right? And we're just holding hands there. Right? There's no power. I'm not getting any energy from him. So when you're training, now that's fine because we can do stuff, but slippery. We can do stuff. But if he is, if he doesn't give you energy, it's hard to understand. So please, when you're uke, give a proper defense, a proper uke, proper block on the strike. Right? So from here, yeah. So there he is. There he is. Yeah. Still got energy. He still wants to give me energy. Still wants to give me energy. Okay. So it's very important that as uke, that you're part of the technique. There's two parts of the technique, stay and uke. It's not just me, stay, coming along. I'm pretty good. Well, I am, but you know. So I'm humble too. I'm very humble. We need one another to practice to start to understand us. Okay, and it's not easy. It's not easy because again, we've got to unlearn a lot of habits that we grew up with about doing things and getting our hands. So one is grass. So from here now, we're going to change the technique a little bit. Iriminage. So same base again. Okay, he's going to grab. So the basic is in. And again, it's not, there's no power there. It's on my hip. I'm just guiding that in because I need to lock his whole body up. Here's locked up there. Okay. From here, up, step behind. Come to Kamai. Little shuffle forward. from here. Right? So he's giving me a pull here. Where's this? Right? Don't get pulled off. Pull. Yeah, it's a pull. It's a pull. No pull. 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 No push. No pull. It's a pull. It's a slight pull. What I'd like you to start is just static. He grabs. Okay. So you can start to understand this. From here, just turn your hip in. I'm not worried about. Okay. He's giving me good energy here. Nice, as strong as you can. Strong as you can. As strong as you can. Just turn my hip. Okay. Just turn your hip. So much like ikkajo, turn your hip. There he's up. His balance is gone here. Same thing here, except now it's down. Balance is gone. Right? Shuffle in slightly, basic. Now from here, again, if I try and go through him, he's a big, strong guy. Then we're fighting. We want to keep that to a minimum. Then we're fighting. That's no good. Here. He's strong here. I'm going to go around him. I'll go around him. From here, I'm going to lift him up. He's hanging on, because if he lets go, get away. That's not good. He's going to hang on, because he knows he's lost here. He's got to come up. That opens this door for me and turns his body. Here, he comes down on top. So I'm not closed. I'm satisfied. Again, it's all strength. Also never hurt me. He never hurt me. Threw me over. Other instructors hurt me as well. They tell us. He was better at the inside, but it's not mistaken. So we're gonna be here is one. Nice and strong grip. I want okay to have a nice strong grip. Put your hands, sink them up, fall. From here, as you lift them up, cross step behind. Okay. You shift your hip, your hands come down on top. Okay, let's try and get the basic movement there, and then we'll look at some of the details inside. Okay. For the part, yes. We're all good. Okay, so it's the same. The less you do, the more power you have. Right, so I'm not doing anything. Everything's just here. Now, what I'm seeing a bit of is okay. I got him. I'm trying to push through. It's he's a great big guy, Jamie. Doesn't look it, but he's really big. For a little guy, he's really quite big. Nice. That's all you got. There you go. Right here. Right. I can't go through him. Right. Just let go. Stay there. He's still quite strong there into his back leg. If I try and go through, he's still quite strong. So I have to turn him that way. I do that by lifting up. Lift everything up. It's still kamae. This is still closed, not like this. Not stretching out. It's still kamae. Up. I'm behind him here. From here, I simply turn and come down to kamae. It's, again, you're not pushing with your arms because one thing will happen. It's my hip. My hip has to come down. Your hip has to come down. So one. Slowly, smoothly, up. Shift. Bring your hip into kamae. And then forward. Your hip must come to kamae. You must get out of your hands and arms. Must get out of your hands and arms. Okay, so let's try that a couple more minutes, and we're going to move on. So we're going to do just a variation, same technique, but a slight variation. I want to do it on a smaller person, so you knew it didn't work on just big guys like Jamie, but on little guys like Nathan here. Okay, so thank you. So it's a wondrous grasp again. Okay, we were doing this one and around. Okay, we're going to do a variation on this, which is here. We're going to break the grip. Break the grip. Come here. You don't have to stand on his foot, although I find it helps. I'm here. Now here, you're just turning over. You're just turning over into kamae. That's all. That's all. There's no, sorry, wrong technique. There's no hitting here. You know, you can do that, but not here. You know, we're learning something. It's, as Blok Sensei was saying, it's, you know, we don't have to hurt people. Got them. I've got his balances broken already. The trick now is finish off. If I try and push, well, it's not going to happen. With my arms, it needs to be my hip as I turn this over. My hip, I'm just turning this. I'm not pushing down. I just turn my hand over as I come to kamae. And it's, you're not pushing with your arms. It's kamae. Just come to kamae. Strong kamae. Boom. It's over. He's done. Right? So from here, 1. Push it right there. Just place it there. You're not hitting him. Place it there. Turn hand over as you turn into kamae. Again, it's kamae. Everything's relaxed here. Right? Everything's relaxed. Ooh. Hip. Boom. A little shove forward. Let's try that for the last few minutes. Okay. Thank you, Nathan. Let's. And again, everybody throw it towards the mirrors, please. I don't want to see any broken noses or hips or anything here. 4 lines face front. Minor end. Just 4 lines, straight lines. Everybody knows how to do straight lines? Good. Pretty close. That's pretty close. Okay, right side basic. Come on. Shomenuchi ichi after class exercise. New teeth. Exercise number 1. Ichi. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Shift. We're all on the left side now, right? Ichi. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Shift. Take a step back. Shomenuchi ni. Ichi. Ni. Sam. Shi. Small pivot. We're on the left side. Good. Yeah, good. Military left. Good. Ichi. Ni. Sam. Shi. Pivot. Minor end. Right. Okay. Just gather in for second place. Good, good. Where's Jamie? Just sit down for a second. So we're almost at our end here. Just want to close with a couple little things. One is, so we did after class exercise number 1 and 2. Every class, you should be doing basic movements because your basic movements are the foundation of starting to understand controlling your own body. And I remember, you know, it'd be in police course, you know, it'd be 1, it'd be like this shape, 2, you know, you've got to get strong. It's only a few minutes out of your day, you know, do it with intent, do it intentionally, make right. And this is the time where you can work on, am I in my center? Am I staying in my center? Is everything here? My back leg straight? Is my weight forward? My hips properly set? Am I in the ground? That's the time you can really work on that. And you should do that every single class. Every single class, okay? So what both Blok Sensei and I were talking about today, Jameson, is there's no need to hurt people. You know, there's a better way. There's a better way where you can come down and just control things. It's much better. It's much nicer. And just because you're in a self-defense situation, you can't just run roughshod over people and hurt them. You can't do that. You'll still get charged. So you must be very mindful of that. You must be very mindful. Yes, you must look after yourself. But really, the training is not about that. Historically, it was, but really, we're doing something else. It's a lifelong journey of self-discovery that we're trying to figure out here and understand. And we help with each other to do that. Okay? The last thing I want to leave you with is you got to slow down in your techniques. You got to slow down and be mindful of the technique. It's not just, okay, no, I just didn't learn anything there. Slowly, slowly. go through it slowly. I'm still controlling, okay, but I'm doing it slowly. There's really no such thing as muscle memory. Right? It's your brain is telling your body what to do. Your brain tells your body what to do. And so you have to train your brain to train your body. So you're working out new paths of doing that. The only way to do that is do it slowly and deliberately. And then it will become automatic. But you must start slowly and do that. Okay, so thank you very much, Jamie. Listen. Line up, please. Good. Kevin? No, we'll both be out. I think both be out here. Yeah, we were the head honchos today.
Okay.
We're over here. So I'd like to thank you all again for coming and for putting up with Kevin and I. We had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And we're back here tomorrow morning at 7. What time do we start tomorrow? 10. 10. The day's half over. 10. When I was a boy. When I was a boy. It was a long time ago. Okay, so thank you very much. We'll see you all at 10. Okay, see you later. Let's stop. Hey, let's stop. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Class dismissed. Let's bow to your partner. Thank you. Let's.